Good morning. Hello, everyone. I am Valerie, or good afternoon, wherever you're at, and you're listening to Be the Change. The podcast here is for self-help, and in the podcast, we'll be discussing a lot of life experiences, growth, and overcoming any blockages or challenges that need to be released, and you should be okay with everything happening, and how to reflect on us and be the best versions of ourselves. Make sure you subscribe on your favorite podcasts here to get notified of the first couple of episodes when they launch in a few weeks. And let's get into it. So again, welcome back to the Change podcast with me, Valerie Atkinson. Today we're going to be talking about one of my topics that I wanted to write things down. So writing things down. So we're going to be talking about that today. Again, if you don't know who I am, my name is Valerie. I am the host here, Valerie Atkinson. So I wanted to talk today about writing things down. So a lot of the things that I've been writing down within the last couple of years, which I have a million journals, I have a million notes. I mean, down the road, I have thrown away a lot of these journals. There's a lot of things that I have completed from these journals, or again, just things have changed in my life within the year's time, right? You know, years go by and you get different goals, you get different visions, you get different dreams or desires. So I'm going to call it a desire. So I want to say a few months back, I wrote a list of things that I wanted to do and what would I do with this money if I were to be receiving this money. So I wrote a list of these things down, you guys. I wrote a freaking list of these things down. And honestly, I didn't think anything of it. I just wrote it down. You know, I started watching videos. I mean, the whole 3-6-9 method, Neville Goddard. I got more into the manifesting, the law of attraction, and so forth, right? There's so many ways to attract, but I think what really stuck to me out of all the things, if I can be completely honest, just writing things down. So I started this list. I wrote the things that I would do if I were to get this money. I wrote exactly what I would do. I wrote down entirely. You know, one of the things that I do recall is taking my kids to fancy restaurants, buying my kids clothes, going shopping for me and my kids. One of the other things was like taking me and my daughter to get our eyebrows done, nails done, and shopping. I just can't remember all of it. I'm trying to look for the list here. I should have been more prepared, so I do apologize. But yes, I wrote these things down. So what freaked me out was months later, after the fact that I wrote these things down, you know, I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just really just doing it already. So this is where I want to talk a little more about it, because I feel like a lot of us, we have things that we write down, like our to-do list for the day. And I want you to remind yourself, like, when you do these things, like, what have you done off these lists, right? So when I wrote this thing down, I closed my journal. I went on with my months, went on with everything that was going on in life. And I was like, you know what? It's been a minute. I'm going to go look at my journal, like just random, just randomly thinking. And sure enough, I went back to it and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy, because I was already doing this. Like, I wrote these things down and I was already doing them. Like, I took action. So a thing for me is I noticed is that, how did I get this and how was it possible? Well, the funny thing is, guys, you don't think about your process of how it's going to happen or how you should think it should happen or how it should come about, right? I think we get fixated on the how versus when we should take action. I really don't fix on the how anymore. Before, that used to be me. I used to possess myself over it. Like, how am I going to get there? Do I have to do this perfectly? Do I have to do this in the morning? Blah, blah, blah. It's honestly going to take your full authentic self and reprogramming yourself to look at yourself and reminding yourself. I believe that everything we think about and things that we have written about goes into our subconscious mind. Like, it gets planted in our mind, just like when you plant a nice little seed out in your garden and then you don't do anything to it. You just water it, right? You just consistently just let it grow, right? It's going to take time. You're not going to see it grow within a day's time. But the beautiful thing about this is that it could either grow to be the most beautiful plant, or it can grow and be the most weeded plant, right? But there's also beauty in both of these things. You just don't know what you're gonna get. So as I was writing these things down, I remember just writing them down freely. Honestly, I just like whatever came to my head that day, what would I do with this money and what would I be doing with it? And yeah, and that's how I knew, like, it's just releasing everything. I think I actually have it in this journal. Yeah, look, it's funny. I have it right here. So I want to tell you what I wrote down as I would get this money. So I wrote down a specific amount to be reflecting in my bank account, right? So I wrote these things down. I wrote them like this. I put, I am receiving checks, cash gifts from infinite sources and well energy. I am paying off my credit card debt, car payment, house payment. I'm saving $1,000 a month in my savings. I'm taking me and my daughter to get our petties, manis, eyebrows done every 2 weeks. I'm taking my kids on trips once a month, which is funny because I did take my kids to a trip not too long ago after I wrote this down. So I'm also driving my Chevrolet Suburban 2023 dark gray black rims. What does it say? Cognac leather seats, sunroof TV screens, and I'm paying $5.99 per month. I am eating in fancy restaurants with my kids. I am shopping for home goods, furniture, frames, plants, decor. I am getting a spa massage membership. I am buying books to help me learn about flipping homes, sales, decor, and personal skills. I'm taking my kids to shop and get pampered for haircuts. I'm paying for good childcare. I'm buying fancy perfume, makeup, shoes, purses, jewelry for me and my kids. I'm buying property. It makes me feel at ease to be able to share it and loved by all the abundance. So I want to tell you, half of these things have manifested already for me. I'm not going to go off and tell you what exactly manifested off this list, but majority has. And I'm okay with the rest of the things that still are on there not being fully up in the air for me yet. I feel like it's going to come at the perfect timing. I'm not forcing anything out of it. I don't expect it to be here tomorrow, but I'm just allowing the universe to bring it to me when it's time. And I truly believe that the minute that you start seeing these things, you're going to have to be fully aware of how you're subconsciously programming your mind. I think the fact that I took action was what defined everything. So the simple fact of me writing this down, the simple fact of me doing these things. So before I would just write things down and not take action, I would just kind of expect the universe to give it to me. That's not the way it works, y'all. So I started taking action. So I went, took my little butt, and I planted myself, okay, let's go shopping, guys. We went and, we went shopping, and it was fun because my kids were excited. They're like, oh my God. And they're like, oh, I want this, I want that. I was like, okay, we'll get it. At this point, I wasn't thinking about the money or how much money I was going to spend. You know what's the craziest thing? When I would get to the checker or the cashier, I didn't even think it would be that much, but it felt like nothing to me. I was like, oh, that's all? Damn, I felt like the kids took a lot of stuff. I was like, okay. My mind really surrendered at that point. Like, I really didn't wonder of how much or nothing. I just kind of let loose, right? So power of surrendering is definitely one. After taking action, I would suggest, practice law of detachment. Don't worry about how or when or what. No, it's just the thing is you're going to have to take action. And the way that it's going to come, you're just going to have to allow it to happen. And the simple fact of you taking action and just allowing things to unfold the way that they should, they're going to. The thing is, we can get in our own ways by just simply thinking, one, self-sabotage, negative self-talk, doubtful. And that's something that all of us can easily get caught in. Everything that you write down as of today, or maybe you wrote months ago, I want you to go back to these things and see what things manifested. Did you take action in these things? How did you go about doing these things? And if you haven't, don't worry, there is a way. So I want you to really look into what you've written down and take it as okay, well, this is my next desire. I want to work on this. Okay, you're going to have to take action, my love. It's scary, but it's going to get you to the uncomfortable part of you that you just don't know yet. You're going to learn to adapt to getting uncomfortable. So say, for example, shopping, right? I know a lot of us right now with inflation, prices have gone up. A lot of us are freaking out. Don't freak out. It's okay to splurge on yourself. I'm not saying go and max out your credit card. That's not what I mean. What I mean is buy yourself something that you feel is going to bring you good. What jacket, what accessory, if it's glasses or it's perfume or it's a gym outfit, what is going to bring you a good energy? Because the minute you start reflecting on this action, you're bouncing the energy back. You're mirroring this energy back. So you're giving abundance. You're giving positivity. You're taking action. The universe is now talking to you because you're doing this. So they're like, oh, okay, so she's doing this. He's doing this. They're going to walk you through it after this. This is where you need to surrender. This is where you fully let go of how and when. No, don't even worry about it. Because later when this does happen to you, this is when you're starting to manifest these things because you're taking action. Things are not going to be given to you guys. And it's not about how. It's the beautiful thing. What I loved is the fact that I did it. And you can do it too. Everybody can do it. We all have powerful energy. We're all creators. We are all creators. Did you hear me? We're all beautiful creators, and we're so adapted to the energy. Sorry, I had to take a drink out of my coffee because I haven't taken one yet. It's the first podcast, and I'm excited. So I believe that writing things down is what's going to take action. That's how the universe knows that you're talking to it. You're talking to yourself back, because not everybody's here going to support you. You're going to be your own supporter at this point. You're going to learn to co-create, and that's exactly how it starts. You're going to have to be your co-creator. The universe now is walking by your side. They're walking you. They're cheering you on. They're like, yes, Val, get it. Keep going. You're doing amazing. And you're giving yourself this self-positive talk that you're no longer going to have issues with manifesting because you're writing these things down and you're taking action and you're actually creating. That's the beautiful thing. So that's one thing that I loved. And I realized as I was starting to do these things, I was visualizing it in my head, in my mind, my subconscious. Because I was going to these stores, buying these things for my kids and not just me. But it was one of those things like, oh my God, like I'm doing it. This is fun. It's just exciting. Y'all, let me tell you something. The money started coming in as I just completely forgot of what was going on. And I'm telling you, the money was coming from different ways. Like I'm talking passive income. I'm talking about people wanting to seek out my services on my tarot readings. It was crazy. And I'm still doing it right now. And it's crazy because it happens when I'm relaxing and I'm not worried about nothing. I kid you not this past week. The last couple of weeks, I've been manifesting a lot of money. And this past week, I actually was sitting on the sofa. My friend reached out, one of my clients, and she's like, hey, Val, are you free? I was like, hell yeah. I was like, I'm free. Give me 10 minutes. Let me prep, so I can be ready for you. And we had a reading, right? We had a session. And not even that same week, that Monday, boom, I heard the cha-ching on my phone because I get notified. And I was like, wow, this is really good. I was like, thank you, God. Thank you, universe. I'm truly grateful. And you know what? That goes to show that things are going to happen how the universe wants to bring them to you. There's going to be unexpected income, checks, etc. I can go on and on about this, but I just wanted to get the simple message out there for you guys to sit down with yourself, buy yourself a journal. If you want to get a cute journal, do it. Actually, the journal that I wrote this on was my, I have two journals. I have one that my sister gifted me on my birthday, which says positive energy. And this other one is a green one that I bought for myself a few months ago. I wrote things down, but I actually took out a lot of the pages because, one, I was like, okay, I'm going to write this down on a sheet of paper. I completely put this book away and I forgot about it. And it's crazy because now I'm like, wait, I know I wrote this down somewhere. I'm going to go look for it. And I did. And I found it in one of my journals. And if you need me to take a picture, and I will fully display it on my YouTube once I have everything gathered for you guys, and I will. This is something that's going to show you guys that power of manifesting is just by simply taking action. And if it's easier for you to write this thing down, write it down. Anyways, loves, I just want to thank you guys again for listening today. Thank you so much for listening to me here at Be the Change with Valerie Atkinson. Again, you can find the full show listed below with all the links on today's episode. And then again, I would love to connect with you guys. So let's connect. You can follow me now on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. And again, thank you for loving the podcast. And I'd really appreciate it if you give me a beautiful review or follow. I'd be honored just to go ahead and do that for me. That gives me motivation for me to keep posting these podcasts for you, because I have many, many more episodes to come. And leave me a review as well. And then I'll see you guys next time.